So this is going to be for Chapter 2, Lesson 2, Solving Two-Step Equations. So starting from our textbook, looking at example number 1, if we were given an equation such as 2x plus 3 equals 7, the idea of solving our equations is to get the variable isolated or alone. So in order to do that, we use inverse operations. So one way to visualize how to solve these equations is using a model or our tiles that you may have used before in class. So what this may look like if we were to use our algebra tiles is we have 2x tiles and 3 unit tiles on one side. And on the other side, we have 7 unit tiles. So what we would do is we could remove those 3 tiles on either side to get our 2x tiles alone are equal to 4 unit tiles. And then what we could do is we could group them to see what x would be equal to. However, what we're going to be doing is going through it algebraically without the tiles. So what this looks like is 2x plus 3 equals 7. What we want to do, like I said, is use those inverse operations. So what we would do is we would start with removing that 3, or in this case, subtracting it from both sides to get 2x equals 4. Then we know our 2, the coefficient of x, when it's squeezed together like that, they are multiplying. So the opposite would be 2 divided on both sides. And now we get that x by itself, and we can see it's equal to 2. So using that algebraic method, we're going to solve for y. So what we want to do is we want to start by getting rid of this constant. So to get rid of this plus 1, we would do the opposite by subtracting 1 on each side. So what we would get is 5y equals 25. And what's important is as we are solving these problems, we almost use like a funnel way to set up our equation. We always want to work down. So if you're using a lined piece of paper, every line should represent one step of your problem. So from here we have 5y equals 25. Well, 5 is trying to multiply that y, so the opposite would be to divide it on both sides. And what is also really important when we are dividing, it's important that we use this almost like fraction-like method to represent our division. We are no longer going to be using our division sign when we are dividing. So if I do 25 divided by 5, I get y equals 5. Now, example 2 is a little bit different. This time we see we have a fraction involved, but we can still take the same steps. We want to start by getting rid of that constant, or in this case, that minus 3. And to do that, we would add 3 on both sides. So we get 28 equals 1/4 n. Now, to get rid of this fraction coefficient, we use something called the multiplicative inverse, or you may remember it as keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep that fraction of 1/4. Instead of trying to divide by 1/4, we're going to change it to multiplication, and we're going to flip that fraction upside down to 4/1 and multiply it on both sides. So we would, in this case, get n equals 112. So let's try one. So again, looking at this, we always want to start with getting rid of that constant. So in this case, I have a plus 2. So the opposite, or its inverse, would be to subtract 2 on both sides. So when I do that, I have negative 4 minus 2, which gives me negative 6, equals 1/3 z, and 2 minus 2 cancels out. I want to get that z by itself, so to get rid of my fraction here, I'm going to do that multiplicative inverse, or keep, change, flip, and multiply by 3/1 on both sides, or just multiply by 3, because what ends up happening is this all reduces, so I get left with z, and on this side I can do 3 times negative 6 to get negative 18 is my answer. All right, let's try another one. So looking at this one, we notice that I have my constant of 6 minus 3x equals 21. Now, we can't see that there is a sign in front of the 6 to let us know what kind of operation we should be doing, but if we think about its opposite, we can think about subtracting that 6 on both sides. So what we get is a negative 3x because we keep that sign in front. Negative 3x equals 15. Then we would divide by that negative 3 on both sides to get our x equals negative 5. So looking at this one again, I want to get rid of this constant of 8. And since it's a positive 8, I could subtract 8 on both sides. What's important, though, is that I keep that sign attached as a negative 3x. Okay, we don't want to lose that negative sign. And if I do 14 minus 8, I get 6. And then I can divide by negative 3 on both sides to get x equals negative 2. And again, remember, notice how I'm kind of solving, looking kind of like a funnel. All right, and our last example from our book is a small word problem. So it says Chicago's lowest recorded temperature in degrees Fahrenheit is negative 27 degrees. Solve the equation to convert the degrees to Celsius. So in this case, they already gave us the equation we're going to work with. And so what we want to do is solve for that C. So using that equation, we'll start with our inverse operations of getting rid of this constant, or in this case, 32, by subtracting it on both sides. Then I want to get that C by itself, and 1.8 is trying to multiply it, so the opposite would be to divide it. And what we can get here, we would end up rounding, so we could have negative 32.8 degrees Celsius. And remember, when we are solving word problems, we should be answering in some kind of statement or sentence and include our labels. So in this case, again, we would say negative 32.8 degrees Celsius. So I have one more problem to try. That is a word problem. So in this case, it says Melissa wants to put trim molding around a rectangle. The table is 45 inches long and she has 150 inches of trim. Solve the equation to find the width of the table. So in this case, we are given the equation 150 equals 2w plus 90 to find this width of the table. But let's think about where that equation comes from. If we were to think about a rectangular table, we know that there are two sets of equal sides. We have the long sides that are equal and the shorter sides would be equal. Well, they told us that it was 45 inches long. And the total trim is 150, but we don't know the width. So we could just use W for the width. And if this side equals W, so would the other. And when they're talking about a total amount of inches for the trim, we're talking about the perimeter of the rectangle, so just the outside. So if we were to add up all four sides, remember that's how we find the perimeter of something, we add up all the sides, we can go to 150. So that's what they did here. They took our two W's and both sides of 45 and added them all up to equal 150. And then they just simplified it here. We combined like terms. If I have 1W plus 1W, that gives us 2 W's. 45 plus 45 gives us 90, equals that 150. So now we can just solve using our normal steps. We could get rid of this constant by subtracting 90 on both sides. I get 2W equals 60. We could divide by 2 on both sides and get W equals 30. But since it's a word problem, we want to include labels or make some kind of statement about this. Well, when we go back, they were using the unit of inches. So we could say the width is 30 inches.